Cave-Barian Media.
What's up, YouTube? This is Cave-Barian Media here, and today I'm doing my very first toy review for this massive playset that is Snake Mountain from the Masters of the Universe Classics line. This was made by actually Super 7, not Mattel. They took over the license when Mattel stopped doing classics, and they did finish up with this is the last item that they were licensed to do. It was funded in 2019, and it finally shipped out. I just received mine yesterday in the mail, and I opened it up today and put it all together. I've seen another review, and I figured, what the heck, I have nothing else to do. I'm just getting over COVID. That's exciting. So I'm feeling better. So let's talk about this cool toy. The thing is huge. It is supposed to be, initially they said it's going to be 48 inches across and 36 inches high. Measuring, it is closer to 38 inches high, but it's closer to 42 inches. So it's shorter, and I've not seen anywhere they talked about why it's shorter, but it is shorter. But this thing it's a beast. And this is the interior of it. So it does come pretty much assembled. You only have to do a couple things. You have to put the top on, attach the snake. You have to put the gate on, and attach the net. All four of these faces have to be put on. And then we'll talk about the accessories. But you do have to assemble, put the scepter here, put this gate on, and then there's a breakaway wall that goes here. So there's not much to assemble. You pull it out of the box. There's no stickers to apply. It's very just much plug and play. So the thing is, it's incredible. The detail of the sculpt and the paint applications it's through the roof. It's amazing. I don't think anything else in the line comes close in regards to the paint applications on this thing. There's so many layers of washes. There's dry brushes. There's all the little details are painted. They did everything they could to make this thing pop, and it's tremendous. On the interior, you can see here there is this. It's like almost like a translucent plastic, but it mimics the lava waterfall that would be coming out of the snake head. On the show, it's coming out of the snake head. On the toy, they couldn't do that just for logistics, obviously. But this thing is incredible. This was the battery cover. On this, they just did it as a panel, but everything is sculpted and painted. It is incredible looking. It just pops back on there. And then, before I do the front side, since I already have it here, I'm going to do the accessories. It did come with a ladder, which is very similar to the one that came with Castle Grayskull, but it is different. It came with Skeletor's table, which is, I like having diorama pieces, so this is perfect. The biggest thing for a lot of people probably is the Skeletor's bone throne, which is phenomenal. It's got a great wash on it. The detailing is amazing. And these two things are right out of Filmation, the cartoon. And that's something I do want to touch on too. This is an amalgamation. It's a combination of the vintage toy and the Filmation TV show. There's really nothing borrowed from the 2000X version. It did have the similar with the snake, which is Serpos wrapping around. That was in the cartoon as well, but it was not green. It was just the same color as the mountain. So I really don't see any influence from that show making it into this version of Snake Mountain. But it does have the net like the vintage. It has this, which was, the vintage was just a sticker. On this, it is incredibly detailed and has these massive tentacles, these crazy little critters. It's my favorite piece of this whole item, honestly. It just draws your attention. It's so well done. I can't imagine how much time was involved in getting that sculpted and painted properly. But as far as accessories, and it does have the bridge, which I'll show on the front side of how it works. So this is the front side of Snake Mountain. As you can see, the detailing on the snake head is incredible. The gate has a nice wash on it. I will get some close-ups. The gate it looks like it's metal and it's rusting a little bit. You just have all these vines, details, all these spikes. The chains on the vintage, for the shackles, they were plastic. On this, they're actually metal shackles. The mouth is not controlled by a lever, but you can get it to... And then, like I said, the bridge. So how that works is you slide it in these grooves here. And it works as a way to basically lock the playset so it doesn't open or close. So this locks in here, and it's very, very key to the structural integrity so it doesn't fold open and close on you. And then here's that breakaway wall that I mentioned earlier. Overall, this is just, it's so visually captivating. It just draws your attention. There's no way to, like, you can't not look at this toy and think that's impressive because it's huge. It's so freaking well done. When I saw the first review and saw that it was going to be smaller, I was kind of let down, but this thing is freaking phenomenal. It's so cool to have. For scale, this thing is, like I said, it was supposed to be 48 inches across, and they did bring it down to 42-ish roughly, so it's about 6 inches short, which if you put a figure on it, you still say, I mean, he still looks small, but I mean, I want to know what happened to those 6 inches. I want to know what changed it, but this thing is just so damn cool. I think my biggest pet peeve with this item, the size difference that's thrown out. That I mean, it is what it is. It's too late at this point. I don't like the stairs being sculpted as the way they were. They're too small, and it doesn't really make sense because you can't throw a figure. There's no way for them to stand properly on the stairs, which I don't know why they couldn't just make actual stairs, because if they took the time to sculpt them, there had to be a reason they didn't just make steps that would accommodate the figure's feet. But overall, there's so much good about this set that I really can't complain. I didn't want to show the box. It's just so big and it's hard to manage. I honestly have no idea where I'm going to put this. The spot I had, I hung my shelves before I knew how tall this was going to be, so the spot I have for it is about 3 inches too short. So I have to find someplace else to put it. It is massive, as I've said multiple times. The thing is huge, and it's so ridiculous of how cool it is and how big it is. Back in 2013, Mattel gave us Castle Grayskull to the Classics line, and it was an impressive toy. But this is beyond impressive. I'm going to try to put them together so you can see a size comparison, but this thing is just ridiculously huge. And I'm going to show other things that will show how big it is actually. But this is the movie Skeletor, and you can go right there because that's my Skeletor. When I was a kid, that's like the Skeletor I wanted as a figure, and I finally have it. It's amazing. But regardless, this whole set, you could chock it full of figures. There's plenty of places. I bet you could easily fit 10 to 15 figures on here without issue. And I will, do some posing and see what I can get on there. But there are a couple spots that are probably tricky. Like this little walkway here is too narrow for an actual figure to stand properly. There's just some little nitpicks like that. But overall, this thing, the $600 price tag was a lot. It was. But I think it was worth it. It's something that I'm never going to, no one else is going to make this. This is going to be the only time we have the opportunity to get this. And I'm really glad we got it. In regards to pros and cons and positives and negatives and all that, this thing is a win, in my opinion. There are a couple nitpicks. Like, we paid $600, I believe is what we paid for this, and we were told it was going to be 48 inches. It being shorter is kind of a letdown, because what happened to those extra 6 inches? And, it would have... How did it change the overall design of this thing? I want to see what the original was supposed to be to this. I know they've sized it down several times, and this is still massive, but I want to know what happened, because, I mean, we did pay for it, being told it was going to be 48 inches. I do think that the breakaway wall has some fitment issues. The seam does not look right, and that's a nitpick. But that's it. Those are the two negatives that I can really think of about this thing. It is incredible. The amount of detail, the paint washes, the paint detail in the eye, everything being sculpted and painted. Those eyes just pop. The snake, all the detail, the grooving, the texturizing on everything, the paint apps on just these vines, on the shading. They went above and beyond in so many ways to give us this. And then, you have these accessories where a lot of people had been 3D printing these, and they were great, but now I have one that's durable, and I'm not worried about it breaking. The table, again, like I said, the diorama pieces that came with this are incredible. They're just, you can throw these anywhere. They don't have to be in Snake Mountain necessarily. You can put it in just part of your display. There's so much you can do with this item. And I mean, it is huge. and I don't know where I'm going to put mine yet, but it's going to find a place. Even if it has to be on the floor for the time being until I get more shelves put up or another table. It's so damn cool. Until I get more shelves put up or another table. It's so damn cool. Okay, so now it's time to pack this thing up. I did see the other reviewer say he had trouble getting everything to fit. I did not have that issue. You do have to finagle certain things around to make it work, but it does fit. I was able to get everything inside of the mountain and get it closed. All right, to get this thing closed, there's a couple things you have to do. Everything does fit. I was able to get it all to fit, there's no latches on the side of this, unfortunately, like there are on the castle, to keep it latched so you could carry it easier. But this thing is so big, I don't think it's meant to be carried. So what you have to do,
I put the table in here. Take the scepter down. You pop this off. You pop this head off. Take the bridge, put it in there. You put the ladder down here where the table is. And then you gotta turn this head.
and it does shut. Everything inside is all shut. So this is it shut with the demon face showing. If you want to show this side, the only downside is you can see in the interior, it doesn't overlap, or it doesn't close properly, so it hides all that like it would on the old toy. When it's shut, you don't see inside at all. But on this one, with the size discrepancy in the Snake Mountain side versus the demon face side, you do have this huge gap that shows. So on this, you could display this side. You could put figures here, figures down here, all through here. And this looks fine to display. If you didn't have the full shelf space to have the full 42 inches exposed and open, this is a way you can also display it. It is pretty deep front to back, but this is much more manageable than having it fully open.
All right, here's an exterior shot of the monster that is Snake Mountain. This thing is so impressive. The paint details, the sculpt details, the size, the features, the accessories, everything in this playset was so well executed, it is unfathomable that a company was able to pull this off. Mattel never gave it to us. They showed it to us, they teased us, and then years later, Super 7 is actually who brought it to us, and I applaud them. What they gave us was well worth the wait and the cost of the $600. I am beyond elated to have this in my collection. All right, here's a quick shot of the interior, just again showing more of the same. The incredible detail, the incredible paintwork. It was not skimped at all on this item, and I am just in love.
This does have a trapdoor feature, just like the old toy. You just twist that lever and he does fall into the net. It does work, but not very well, as you can tell. So over here is where the breakaway wall is. It says this is a dungeon, but a figure does not fit. There's literally probably less than an inch of depth there between the door and then the wall. So how that works is you would just open this, and you could put stuff in here and lay it flat, but that's really all that's for. There's no way a figure will fit. But you just pop, and then boom, He-Man can come in through that way if he wants.
And here is Snake Mountain with 2013's Castle Grayskull that Mattel gave us. Just for size comparison, you can just see how much bigger Snake Mountain actually is. My Grayskull does have Point Dread attached because I'm scared to remove it in fear of it breaking. So with Point Dread, they're very similar in height, but as far as width, there is no comparison. Snake Mountain just immensely larger than Castle Grayskull overall and its massive footprint. And now here we are with the vintage Snake Mountain. It's laughable at how small it is in comparison to the new one. But you see all the similarities there. The sculpting is there. The demon face, the snake, everything was taken from the vintage and just cranked up to 11 on this new one. Here's Cobra Commander ruling from his new base at Snake Mountain. Basically, any 6-inch line with villains is going to look great standing on Snake Mountain. It's not just for He-Man. It applies to everybody.
thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. As I said, this was my very first time doing a toy review. So I've watched hundreds of toy reviews, maybe even thousands of them. So I kind of have an idea of how to do them. But, I mean, if you enjoyed it, great. If you didn't, sorry. Then thanks for hanging out this long. But I'm going to start doing more of these probably, as there's not a whole lot else to talk about, and I have the time to do them again. So, this Cave-Barian Media. If you would like, please like and subscribe to the channel. You leave a comment below, and I will see you next time. Thank you.